secret to literally anyone that Grand Peace is an extremely buggy game. Although I haven't really done many videos where I address this stuff, it's the truth and that's just what it is. Lately I've been doing a lot of gameplay videos, and if I'm being completely honest, it just gets kind of boring. So today I'm trying out a new type of video. We're going to be talking about the majority of the problems in Grand Peace Online. So to start this video off, I'm talking about bugs. If you played Grand Peace, you experienced or seen some form of bug or glitch at least 1 or 2 times. I wouldn't say the game is extremely buggy, but there are a lot of bugs that do need to be fixed, and a perfect example of this would be the Goro glitch, where people can literally teleport out of the arena, and yeah, you can't hit them while they're like this. Another notable bug would be the gravity fruit literally not working half of the time in arena mode, and the gravity fruit was added like what, 2 to 3 months ago, and these bugs are still in the game, but I'll get back to this later in the video. As far as the complete list of bugs, that goes on and on and on. But I'm only going to address most notable ones, like the Phoenix animation glitch, for example. Do I need to talk about this? So now for bugs, I'm going to leave it at that. However, I do know that there are more bugs out there. These are just the ones that I could think of on the top of my head. Moving on, I'll be talking about game passes. When people think about Grand Peace, this is literally the first thing that they think of. Obviously, because of the insanely high cost of said game passes. Now, in some cases, you can farm bosses for these game passes, like in the case of Gravity Tail's hoverboard, which bounces out these high prices, or Heels Island, for example. However, in the case of other ships like the Striker boat, for example, this is not possible. And this is extremely unfortunate considering the extremely high price of the Striker boat, which is, I think it's like 3,000 Robux, which is insane. And it's not like it's completely impossible for the Striker game pass to become a boss drop, as there's literally a boss in the game that uses the Mara fruit who would be perfect for this drop. It also encouraged players to get to high levels in Grand Peace Online, which promotes actually playing the game. So that's obviously going to make premium payout money too, if you just want money. Now, I'm not going to talk about ships anymore, as there's more important stuff I'd like to get to, such as the fact that you quite literally need the Devil Fruit Bag game pass if you actually want to get anywhere in this game. And if you don't have the game pass, you can't do dungeon, you can't store fruits, and you have to eat any fruit that you come across or get rid of it. Not to say that you can't do dungeon, but if you have a good fruit, there's literally no point unless you're a friend with the bag. So that already like requires you to have a friend with the bag, so that's a must have. I don't know about you guys, but $5 is a lot of money to me. Well, I want to say it's a lot of money, but to be spending on Roblox, it's a decent amount. So it's $5 per Devil Fruit bag, and you need to have that to be able to store fruits. Now, how would I fix this? Because obviously it's Phoeyu's game. I want Phoeyu to eat. I want it to make money. So how would I fix this in a situation where the player is winning and so is Phoeyu? A nice and simple way to fix this problem would be creating a system like Your Bizarre Adventure, a Roblox shoujo game that I've been playing a lot lately. It's very fun. And in this game, there's multiple slots, and one of them is a free spec slot. This enables players to buy extra slots or fruits if they'd like to, while also letting players who would already spend money to play the game to enjoy it to the fullest. Now, it's not as if people cannot still buy extra slots if they'd really like to. That is still a possibility. However, now, players that have already paid to play the game in the first place can actually enjoy it the way it's meant to be enjoyed. Now, next I'm going to talk about PvP. Grand Peace Online is a beautiful game with combat that I honestly really enjoy. As a huge One Piece fan, this game is super fun and enjoyable. However, the combat has a lot of problems. For example, blocking. If you've played combat in Grand Peace Online, you know the combat right now, for the most part, is literally who jumps first and who blocks the most. The combat wasn't always like this. There was a time when combat was way more fun and exciting, and I can say it took way more skill, but this was back in testing before the game even dropped. Blocking has literally become the meta for Grand Peace, and it just kind of ruins the game to a certain extent, for me at least. So next, I'll be talking about Devil Fruits. When you think about Devil Fruits in Grand Peace Online, there's one fruit that comes to your mind before any other. Obviously, this is the Suke fruit. The Suke fruit has become such a meme in Grand Peace that people literally starting to call the game Suke Peace Online, because that's all you get is Suke, Suke, and more Suke. How do you counter this Suke problem in Grand Peace? Well, the answer to that question is simple, and everybody knows what it is. Add more common fruits. This completely fixes the Suke problem, and I actually made a list of common fruits I'd like to see in the game. Now, common fruits like Suke, I think should only have 3 moves. After watching a YouTuber named Anchor's video, I completely agree. So the 5 fruits that I came up with are the Kilo fruit. This fruit basically allows the user to lift their body up by making themselves like have a lower amount of weight, or do the opposite, making themselves heavier. So you could have a move where you lower your body weight. Then it can have a move where you increase it, which would cause you to come back down and slam, which would be cool. Because, you know, that's not exactly a skill. It's a combination of 2 moves creating a skill. Then the third move perhaps could be the parachute, or the umbrella that the user of the fruit used to, you know, glide around. Maybe you could fly to some extent with that. The next fruit I'd like to see is Mr. One's Blade fruit, because, you know, I'd like to see that in PvP. You know, it's a It's a sword-based fruit, you know, you can attack with it. I don't know, I like the fruit. Not much to say about it though. Honestly, I'm not really gonna make full movesets. Maybe if I feel like it towards the end of this video, I'll think about it, but I'm probably not, just a heads up. So the next fruit that I'm really interested in potentially being added to Grand Piece is the no Mi, which is the slow fruit. It functions similar to the Mero, but that's really about it. It might honestly even only have one move. I don't really remember, but yeah, it's a pretty cool fruit. After that, you have the Guru fruit, which really wouldn't do much besides let the player fly, but I guess that's still, you know, a unique useful ability. You could use that for traveling, so yeah, it would be a good fruit. And lastly, you have the Sube. Now this fruit would be heavily underrated if it actually got added to the game. I know that's for sure because you basically have Ultra Instinct to non-hockey coded attacks, I guess, but yeah. Now, as I said earlier, I'm going to be talking about certain Del fruits. Some fruits in Grand Piece Online have been given completely useless abilities, and it just feels as if little to no thought was put into the creation of these abilities and how they function in the actual game. A really good example of this would be the arm move for the Phoenix fruit. This move launches you into the air, and that's literally it. That's other than that, it has no special ability. It has less regen than the full form, shoots out less fireballs, and the mode is just useless. Why a form like this is in the game when the kick that he used against Aokiji or Kizaru could have been added, I have no clue. I will not understand that. Next thing I'm talking about is the gravity fruit. Like I said earlier, this fruit quite literally just sometimes does not work in ranked or in regular Coliseum. The reason for this is extremely simple, and I can't believe it wasn't fixed in the 2 months that it's been out. Like literally, the only thing that Phoeyu has to do to fix this is to make it so that the meteors don't collide with each other or with the roof or anything besides the inside of the arena. That's it. Bug is gone. Fruit is usable. Now the next thing I want to talk about is gravity push. This move is legitimately useless. It does low damage and serves little to no purpose other than running away, and sometimes you can't even run with it due to how slow it is, how bad the range is, etc. And you can't chain combos into it either, as if it does ragdoll, which is like, you know, probably not going to happen 10 of the times, it's very quick and ends extremely fast. Instead of this move, Gravity Tiger could be given to Gravity, as you know, Gravity kind of lacks. The fruit is lacking right now. It really is lacking. So Gravity Tiger would make way more sense. It would eliminate a useless ability that nobody cares about. And if you're a gravity user and you'd really rather have push, I guess I'm just being biased. Now lastly, I want to talk about the magma fruit. For magma, I personally don't think that swamp is the best move for magma. I think that move should be removed. And instead of swamp, I think that the move that he used against Whitebeard to finish him off could be headed in as a short range grab. Now, of course, this would be similar to the Gura fruit, and I honestly think it'd be really useful. I think this attack was called the Mago. It's a very cool move, and it's a grab. It would go through block, and it would eliminate the problem where mag users complain about not having range. I'm sorry, not range. It would eliminate the problem about magma users complaining about not being able to guard break because it would go through block. And that makes magma balanced, and it has little to no useless moves, in my opinion at least. Now lastly, I'm going to talk about a pity system. If you ever played a game called All-Star Tower Defense, basically a pity system makes it so that you can actually grind the game and search for Del fruits or run dungeon or do bosses and get a higher chance to get a Del fruit or a drop each time you do it. And yeah, this doesn't necessarily have to be limited to only fruits. This could be boss drops, literally anything. Adding in a pity system encourages players to play the game more instead of, you know, hopping on and just getting nothing and wanting to quit. And yeah, this video was short. I genuinely do believe that if the majority of the stuff on the list is added or considered, the game will be in a much better place. I know there's a lot more stuff I could have said, but yeah, that's about it. I love y'all, and I do plan on making more videos like this, so please leave me some suggestions and let me know if you enjoyed this type of video.
I hit them hard, make them switch animations, they change from the show to the movies, feel like the hurricane, who wanna fight with me? I take them out with this two-piece, outside their cabin when they say they want me, they gon' see my crew, now they losing, I be with the